So I've been having active Kundalini for like 25 years or so, and a lot of uncontrollable kriyas. Over the past 3 months, they've become a lot more refined. Like I'm not just sort of jerking around, but my arms and my hands are going into spontaneous mudras and spiral motions and all that. The question I have is, I was trained in the Zen Buddhist tradition, which is just observe. Don't try to do anything. Don't try to get attached. I was recently at a kind of an inner tantra workshop, and I talked to the teacher about what I'm experiencing, and she was talking about just visualize the Kundalini moving through the Sushumna and back out, and then back in through the sacrum. And I tried it on my own, and I just feel like I can't. I don't know if I can't visualize per se, but I'm so accustomed to not exerting my will with this, but really just surrendering to it. And I'm sure there's not a right answer to this, but like part of me just wants to keep on just doing what I'm doing because I'm developing just by sitting. And but then there's another part of me that wonders, will the energy move more freely through my system if I visualize moving it more freely through my system? Um, but I get very stuck, and also I can't predict when the energy feels present.
Mhm.
So I'll stop there. Thank you.
Yeah, thank you, Jeffrey. Yeah, you've raised some great themes, and it's great to hear you've been going through this process for, 25 years. I'm sure you've had lots of experiences and things throughout your journey. Yeah, so different traditions will have different approaches, of course, and different teachers within those traditions will have different approaches as well. Generally speaking, what I like to say is how you were saying, there's part of you that just wants to sort of take a more passive approach and just allow things to unfold as they are. Just sitting, like you said, over the past little while, things have become more refined, and that's working well. And so, in general, if somebody ever tells me that they found some practice or some approach or some attitude that seems to be bringing about some benefits, I say just keep going in that direction. Um, and at times, often, especially if they're not your particular guru or master or teacher that you've, really locked in with, I would say really rely on the inner guru, which is, that part of you that says, I think this is actually what I should be doing right now. This feels right. This feels most appropriate. It feels most natural. So yes, there are visualizations that we can do. There's ways that we can, draw energy up through visualizations, and some maybe aren't so visually inclined, but they can feel it. They can sort of pull it up or move it around in their body. And it's a thing. It can be done, certainly. And that's, with some degree of concentration, with the mind and the right circumstances, we can do that. Um, but then, of course, you'll note that a lot of this happens spontaneously on its own. My overall teaching and attitude is to just allow it to happen spontaneously on its own. What's interesting is that sometimes people will spontaneously, naturally begin to visualize without any intention to say, oh, in this meditation, I'm going to do a visualization. They just sit down quietly. And naturally, it's almost like the visualization is happening spontaneously. The inclination towards manipulating or moving the energy is happening so spontaneously, it's bypassing the ego mind completely. It's just a very natural thing that feels right, it feels appropriate. It's almost like you haven't even realized that it's happening. It's just you're almost witnessing it, but in such a way that's it's really happening in your body directly that you don't even recognize that this is something that you're doing. It's almost like it's happening to you. This is the best way that I've found to engage in anything to do with this path, but particularly visualizations. So some people will say, like the other day, I was speaking with somebody who was dancing, and in the dance, it seemed like they found that they can kind of draw this energy up. And it was just felt right. was enhancing their experience of the dance. Emotionally, it felt right. It didn't feel scary. They didn't have any part of them that said I shouldn't be doing this, or any part of them that even said, "Oh, like I'm engaging in a tantric technique." It's just naturally happening, and that seemed to be appropriate for them. And so that's my attitude, is just allow these things to happen spontaneously by creating the environment within which they can happen. So that may mean sitting, laying in bed, creating a bit of a container, and then allowing all of this to happen spontaneously. I'm generally experienced with Zen. Their attitude as well is to just sit, right? Things come and go. We just keep sitting. I don't know if they particularly, it depends on the teacher and stuff, but they may not encourage anything other than the practice that they've shared, like Zazen, for example. But if things are happening, we just return to the breath and observe, or just return to your koan and just keep observing and watching as it's unfolding. Um, that's also a very, very effective way. So sometimes, like, I've encountered a bunch of people that have practiced within Zen, and they're wondering, where's the mention of Kundalini within Zen? What's the deal here? It seems like I'm saying, the practices that they share can help you through anything that can come up. Emotional stuff will come up, energetic stuff will come up, and you just keep sitting and allow it to unfold, trusting in the process, not getting too involved with the mind. That's the approach that I think is best, and it seems like that's already what you've found. So I hope I can just offer some reassurance and validation for what you already know. Go ahead, Jeffrey.
Yeah, thank you. As I'm listening to you, what I notice is like if I will go into a spontaneous mudra, like let's say my hand moves towards the front of my heart and goes into a particular hand gesture that I'm not intending, it's just there. I will just let it be there until it doesn't want to be there anymore. And then I will bring my hand back to its natural position. So I really just try to honor what the body needs to do until it's not active anymore, and then go back into resting posture. Um, I, a quick follow up is this teacher was talking about doing visualization to like disperse the energy, and talking about a very complicated ritual using Sanskrit terms, touching different parts of the body. And um, I think, as you said, listen to your inner guru. I can certainly investigate, but I can do what feels right for me.
Certainly. And even those, it's happened to me very, and it may not happen to everybody, but very specific, complex, tantric um, practices and rituals were unfolding spontaneously within me, which I had no idea about. It was only after, months after, that I, described it to somebody, and they said, yeah, this is exactly what's, they've mentioned in, Tibetan Buddhism, for example. And I started looking it up, and I said, wow, that's to a T is what unfolded for me. So even that stuff can happen spontaneously. Um, Maybe not. I don't know this teacher, of course, and maybe I'm making an assumption here, but sometimes teachers may feel as if they got to give you something complicated when, like, if all they said was, yeah, let that unfold as it is, like, maybe they feel like that's their job, is to give you something fancy and complex so you feel like you're getting your money's worth or whatever. That sometimes is something I can see happening as well.
Yeah, I do believe that all of these techniques happened through the Kundalini moving through the body, and then they got codified.
Yeah,
So that makes a lot of sense.
yeah,
Okay,
exactly.
thank you so much for your time.
No, you're welcome. Thank you. Yeah, the Kundalini process is the original source of all of these techniques and whatnot. Absolutely.